Alright guys, this is Unity tutorial lesson 1. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and launch Unity. If I go to Launchpad and I just type in UNTI. Alright, so that's the symbol for Unity. I'm going to go ahead and start it. I already had Unity open, and here's my Pong / Pac-Man game that I've created. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. So normally it's going to ask you to create a new project, and this window comes up. My computer's running a little bit slow, so it always takes a second, but you're going to see where it's going to let you create a project title. You're also going to see where you're going to make it 3D or 2D. You can also have analytics open for Unity. I don't need that. It's running really slow. Okay, so here, let's call it Pong. I could underscore test, okay, or underscore game, okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and click right here because you want to find out a location, desktop. I made a folder, and then in that folder, that's where my Unity files are. I want analytics off. This is a 2D game, okay, and then I would click create project. Since mine is already open, we're just going to go with this. Okay, so this is my finished game, but we need to talk about how Unity operates. Okay, basically the UI, the user interface. And probably some of the things that you're going to notice is you have some tools over here. These tools, like the hand tool, if I click on the hand tool, I click within the scene window and I can move it. Alright, if I want to move a particular game object, I can click on it and you can get the X and the Y, and I can move it that way. Alright, next thing, you can rotate on the X and the Y here, just by rotating. Alright, the next one is for scaling. If I click on the little handles, I can affect whatever axis it is. If I click from the center and drag, it's going to scale it proportionally both in the X and the Y direction. Okay? Alright, the next one is the, like a rec free transform, and it basically has these blue dots around it, and it lets me scale, okay, in any particular area. I'm going to hit Command Z. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back to my hand tool. Okay. Alright, and then there's pivot and global. Okay, so I don't think it matters so much with some of this because we're not in 3D. I believe in global. That has more to do with 3D. I'm trying to remember. Pivoting, I think, has to do basically how it pivots within that object, within the world, but it's less of an issue because we don't have the X, Y, and Z, and normally it's reflecting how it's centered within itself and within the game world, and since it's 2D, I don't think it really applies. I think it's more of a 3D option. I'm pretty sure from what I saw in the tutorials. Okay, so here's right here on this panel right here, it's called your hierarchy. So hierarchy kind of reminds me of your dope sheet in Blender. It's everything that is in your game, okay? Basically, any kind of game objects, it's going to be listed right here on this side. Alright, right here you can actually create by clicking down, and it does give you some basic meshes. Your sprite, because it's 2D, okay, because it's a 2D image, you're going to be working with sprites, audio and video and things like that. Mainly, we're more concerned about your 2D object, okay, and sometimes you might have to create an empty child and then assign it a particular graphic or image or an asset, okay? Alright, so these are the list of everything that is within my game. Alright, down below, down here, you're going to have your assets. When Unity creates a new project folder, you're basically going to have an assets folder, and that is where all your objects are. Within there, I tend to create new folders up here because then you keep things organized. So objects, all my game objects. Scene, this is the actual scene. That it's like your level, okay? So scene and level is almost interchangeable with Unity, but like they call it a scene because some people literally only, you know, it's not an entire level, and you're just, so they kind of go with scene just because it seems more flexible, I believe. Then you go I have a folder I've created for my scripts, and I just clicked up here, click new folder, and I created that. All right, so anything that you see within my assets folder, it'll just pop up right here. All right, next let's talk about, you know, over here on this side is your inspector, and depending on what you have selected, just like in Blender, it's going to affect whatever game object I have selected, it's going to change the inspector, because now I have dotted line. And then you can see right here the different inspector options that it has. So like as I click through, you can see that a lot of things start changing, okay, because I've applied different components to it, and we'll talk a little bit more about components in just a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is this scene right here, okay? So whenever you are working in Unity, you see the 2D right here, okay? And then I'm working in 2D, you see scene and you see game. Okay, so what you have to realize is if you're building your game, you should only be in scene like viewport, I guess. All right, just like we think of viewports in Blender. So scene is for building, game is for demoing and seeing if it works. The next one, which I hesitate to click on because it takes forever on my computer, and my computer's been slowing down lately because of all the videos I've been doing, is the asset store. So one of the things you need to do is you're going to be creating a Unity ID so that you can access free assets off of the Unity store. There's paid assets, but we are not buying anything in class, okay? Because I don't need y'all putting in your like credit cards or PayPal information into these computers, because other people use them and goodness knows what they do on these computers, okay? All right, so later on, you'll actually go to the Unity website and then you'll create your ID, and then you should be able to access some free assets that I need you to download, okay? For your layout, I go with default. You can create your own layouts that you want, just like you would in Photoshop, okay? I go with the default layout. So when I change it to default, I just have to zoom out, okay? And so you really want to always be in scene mode, and then you've got these buttons up here that allow you to actually play and demo your game. So if I push the play button, it switches over, and then the game starts, and like I'm the little ghost guy, and then I'm gonna do my little keys here. Oops. And I had to be playing the other character too. Now my, because of the physics on the ball, it's not moving very fast. Alright, so it's taking forever. But anyways, if I want to stop demoing the game, I just press off of the play button. The next thing I want to talk to you guys is you're going to have to pair, actually, let me save that for the next video. Let's save that because that's just user interface in Unity.